All right, we're going to look at LinkedIn. This is Dale Callahan. I'm going to try to give you a couple of different principles about LinkedIn, why we're using it, and some basic setup practices and some basic search preferences. First of all, why LinkedIn? If I looked at LinkedIn and look at my profile here, then I can tell you that LinkedIn is the tool that most professionals are using to find people. This is what they are using to reach out and find the people that have the expertise. No longer is it relevant necessarily to send in a monster.com or many of the other job sites, your resume or your information. What people are doing now is they're getting on LinkedIn, the HR recruiters, for any job of any value that is besides, flipping burgers and some basic jobs. They're searching for people with expertise. And the way an HR person or a recruiter would search for people with expertise is they would get on LinkedIn, they would do a search, and they would go out and find that person that they're looking for based upon search criteria. So let's talk about how that works. First of all, to be found, you need a decent profile. So let's talk about some of the keys on a profile. Let me give you my example. Well, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So if we look at my example, I have a photo, I have my name, I have this information here. I forget what this is called. It's called your professional headline. And then you've got city, and then you've got your industry. Now, just pick on those for just a minute. These are probably the most important things to set up. Obviously, hopefully you've got your name right. But many people put in their professional headline, they type in whatever their position is. Engineer 3 with Southern Company, but it doesn't tell you what it does. It doesn't tell you anything, client coordinator. What does that mean? So you don't have to put in your job title. What you need to do is put in something that's relevant. Engineering focused, faculty focused on entrepreneurship, and I'm the voice of the company of one podcast. Okay, I don't know if that's perfect or not, but at least when you look at this, you get some idea of what I'm doing. So then you look at professional on this, and it's your location and your industry. Now, my original industry said I was in higher education, which is true. I work for a university, and a lot of the work I do is for that university. But quite frankly, what I do is professional training and coaching. I spend time working with professionals, training them, coaching them. So those things right there, your photo and this kind of information, is very important to get that relevant. Okay, that's the key, is relevant. All this other stuff, your current, previous education, that kind of stuff, it comes from what we're going to do down below. Now, also you notice there's 500 plus connections. Lots of connections is a good thing. So let me look at real quick an example. Then I don't know Nate, but let me just look at an example that's not a good example. I searched on the word seeking. That's why that's highlighted. Nate has a couple of things wrong with his profile. Number one, he has 0 photo. Without a photo, you're basically telling people you're not really interested. He has 176 connections. It's not too bad, but he's not really using it very strongly. And he's got this right here, which I just think is not really a good thing to say. Seeking the next challenge after some time off at home. Now, there's nothing wrong with his statement, but it doesn't tell me anything if he's seeking a challenge. Because I'm going to search on stuff, and it's probably unlikely that I'm going to search on seeking. So he probably should put something up there related to what he is seeking to do, whatever that would be. And maybe he's not seeking, maybe he doesn't care. He's in the sports industry and all that kind of stuff. But there's not a lot of seriousness here, and maybe he doesn't use LinkedIn. But that's my view of this. He does have some information down here, which is good to do. So let's next talk about the summary. If there's one rich area to put in LinkedIn, it's summary. Now he's telling about himself. I'm a task oriented individual. My summary probably doesn't really hardly say anything. This is a poor example of a summary. Mine is. So let's look at a LinkedIn expert. What does her LinkedIn page look like? And I don't know her. I can't even pronounce her name. But we're going to call her Miss Rosen. She's a friend of a friend. So if you look at hers, and forget all the background stuff, but if you look at hers, you see her name, you see this, you got a pretty clear idea what's going on here. She's a professional training and coaching like myself. You see a photo. Now she's an author, so she's got her book put in there. So it's a lot of information packed into very little space. Now, this is where hers really excels. Look at the summary. And the summary is not, went to school at the University of such and such. You know, this is right to the point. If you have questions about using LinkedIn, go to my page. I'm the author of a best-selling book. Why should you hire me? What's in it for you? She's very pointed in getting straight to the point for two reasons. This is what you might look at, and anybody looking at this, they don't really care where you went to school or what you ate for breakfast or any of that other stuff. What they care about is, what can you do for me? So she's being right up front about that. The other thing is the search engine. It looks heavily at this information. So a great set of tools to use here to find out what you were to make a point to other people. Now also she's got videos. Now that's, whoops, I didn't mean to actually click on the videos, but she does some speaking, so she's got videos of her speaking and some relevant stuff here. If that's relevant to you, if you've got anything published, a website or anything, then you want to put some relevant information here. Under her experience, she's also got, you know, similar type stuff, and she's got it filled out. Remember, you're writing this not for you and not for a history lesson of everything you've done in your life, but you're writing this information on LinkedIn as if, what can I do for you? Now hers is very well built out. It's a great example. We see Nate's here. He's got some decent stuff in here too. Not necessarily as built out, and even in mine. Now mine, I threw a bunch of stuff up here a long time ago and haven't messed with it. So I'm probably a terrible example, except I do use it to make lots of connections. So that's what we're doing here. That's kind of the good and the bad and the ugly, if you will, of LinkedIn, of setting up your profile. The other thing that you need to do on LinkedIn, and notice Nate has 176 connections. I have 500 plus. I don't even know how many I have. I don't know how many she has. It doesn't really matter. The point is, and I'm going to show you in a while why over 500 matters, or have a lot matters. The number maybe is not relevant. The kind of people is relevant. So when I go to a conference, when I meet someone, the very first thing I used to do, and now most people will link to me first, and so that makes my job easier, but it is come back home with a business card and say, hey, I met Joe. So I start typing in Joe, and I try to find out, is Joe in here? I type his name, and I want to see, is he in here? Can I connect to him? And then you want to send a message. So let me just grab a there's got to be somebody in here named Sam Smith, right? Okay, so here is a Sam Smith. Well, it's a female Sam Smith, but okay, so she is a third connection. I'll talk about what that means in just a minute. But if I met her at a conference, I would click connect and say, hey, you know, we've got something in common. I might say I've done business together because I was at the event associated with my job, and I never leave this like this. You know, don't just say this. Just say, hey, it was great to meet you at the expo, and talk about such and such, and you know, whatever you talked about, have some tag of information so they remember you, and then you make the connection. That's how you build connections. Now, of course, you're probably thinking, why do I care to build a connection with Sam or anybody else in here? Here's why. If I can get back to my profile. Okay, so here's how you use, and you know, many of you I've taught how to go out and find people doing what you want to be doing. How do you find the connections? How do you get to meet people? And here's how I do it. I come over to this advanced tab, and I click on this. And by the way, this is how anybody finds people. This is how recruiters find people. They're looking for an engineer, somebody that's in engineering quality. I'm looking for a quality engineer. Okay, I'm going to go from a selfish perspective. And I'm located in or near my zip code. I'm going to pick in something close to me anyway. Now, what I just did is search for people that have engineering quality, right, in their profile somewhere and around or near 50 miles within where I am. Now, why do the connections matter? Now you're going to see. First of all, let me step back. If I'm looking for a quality engineering position, I'm looking for people that are doing this for a living. So I'm selfish. I'm trying to find the people who have the power to hire me that are doing what I might want to do. So here I see a part quality engineer. I see a vice president of quality engineering, an engineering specialist. And I can kind of look through here and see, hey, are any of these people somebody I want to meet? This gentleman here, he looks like he's got a vice president of quality and engineering. I don't know who this company is, but it looks like it's an automotive manufacturing. If this is somebody if I'm interested in working with his company, he's the guy I probably want to talk to. Now, sometimes it's hard to fit because you get a bunch of stuff in here, so sometimes it's hard to find the right people. So what I might do is type in people who have president in their title, so it's going to get me vice president. So that gets rid of all the people who might not be at the level that you want to talk to. So here's this gentleman. I'm not sure, that looks like a Timothy, but so he's a software engineer, but somewhere in his profile is got, senior application architect, vice president. So he's got something in here that he's been at that level. This is not science. This is more of an art of just hunting for people. But now, why does connections matter? Notice this second right here and the second right here. These are second connections. There's a first connection. Let's pick on Eugene. Eugene is a first connection. I know him personally. We, have direct connections. So with Eugene, I can send him a message. I can get his contact information right there. I can say, hey, Eugene, it's been a long time, whatever. I want to come talk to you. So when I go out and connect with somebody and they accept my connection, I get it first. But notice Ashok. I'm a second connection to him. Now, what does that mean? That means I'm friends of a friend, if you will. So I can look down here on the right-hand side how you are connected. Here's me, and I know these people, and I'm connected to these people, and they're connected to him. So here's one way. Now, what I might do is I might just shoot him a direct mail message. Notice I don't have his contact information, but I can shoot him a direct. Oh, no, I can't. If I'm a member, I can. I can connect with him. Now, it's not going to let me connect, but I don't know him, so I might say, hey, we've done business together or whatever. I might do all kinds of things to reach out to him and say, hey, I would love to come talk to you. But if you want to kind of do the absolute proper method, what you might do is this. As I went down here to the right-hand side and it said, get introduced, I click there. Now what this is going to do is I can type in something, say, want to interview you. I want to do a reverse interview. I want to come learn about how you got to where you are. So I'm going to choose a connection. I'm going to pick my friend Sanjay. Sanjay knows Ashok. I know Sanjay. So what it's going to do, it's going to send Sanjay an email or a LinkedIn message and say, hey, Sanjay, will you introduce Dale? And now Sanjay is the go-between electronically that gets to say, hey, you two need to meet and talk. And that's the way to do it. So at a second level, that's why connections are important. The more connections I have, the more connected I am to their connections. Let's pick on a third connection. if I can get back there, if I can find one here. And the further you go down, you're probably going to find third connection. So let me just jump away many pages over here. There's bound to be one somewhere that I don't know somebody that knows. Rule of thumb, never do anything live on video. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to then go in and not be able to find any. Okay, I thought I saw one right there. So, okay, well, obviously bad examples, but if I had a third connection, then I would come over here and I would have to meet somebody that can introduce me to somebody that can introduce me to that third person. So that would be the challenge of going for the third one. And obviously the key here is know lots of people, be connected to lots of people, because I can connect single-handedly to all of these people just by a simple email. So now, why does this matter? Again, I can connect to the people I want to talk to. Now, why does this matter from another point of view? Recruiters are going to search you very much the way I just did that. I could be a recruiter looking for that. LinkedIn is the tool everywhere between who you need to meet professionally and who other people, when they may be looking for you in your skill set professionally. So it's up to you to put your best face forward, if you will, and to represent yourself professionally on this tool. Now, in the link and in the notes, I will put some links to these profiles I'm showing you and some good best practices to help you out.